Hi, my name is Adam Rosenstein. I am the part owner and head of purchasing here at Bridgeport Hobby Sports Cards in the south side of Chicago. What is up, guys? Happy St. Patrick's Day. Here are the top 5 pickups from last week. I was born in Philadelphia. I grew up right outside Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and I lived there until I was 17 when I graduated high school. I was first introduced to cards by my grandfather. I spent most of my time sorting cards, trying to sell cards, buying cards, everything sports and sports card related. I've had an addictive personality my whole life, whether it be addicted to cards or addicted to sports or addicted to gambling or anything like addictive. I've always like latched onto and went like full throttle with it. And that's just been something that I've been doing since I was a little kid. Around the time I was probably like 15, 16 years old, I was first exposed to drugs and alcohol. And right around that time, they kind of took control of my life. After I graduated high school when I was 17, I went to college. I lived a whole lifetime in the 10 months I was in college in Florida. And after I dropped out of there, I went to a horticultural rehabilitation facility in Hawaii. And from there, I went to a transitional living program in Southern Oregon, where I lived for about a year and a half. While I was there, I met the woman who would become my wife, and we then moved to Louisville, Kentucky after my time in rehab. I still experimented with drugs and alcohol. In 2018, my parents got divorced and they sold my house, and I had boxes of cards just everywhere, cards, memorabilia, everything, you name it. And my dad didn't want to keep it in his house any longer, so he shipped it all to me. It was about 7 big U-Haul boxes worth. And he was like, get this out of my life. I don't want it anymore. You can do whatever you want with it. For a while, I was tempted to just throw it away. But then I remembered all the memories I had with the cards growing up and how much joy they brought me at the time. So in 2018, I created an Instagram account called Vilgraphs.
Where do I want to be here? I got to be somewhere in the probably mid twos. That's what it's worth. Just look at other numbers.
The number to 149 just did 230 as well. Quickly, over time, grew the account to a fair amount of people. And then the pandemic hit. I kind of shifted from autographs just to cards. And in 2021, I traveled to Dallas, Texas to the Dallas Card Show for the first time and met up with some friends there. And yeah, now card shows are my work. But yeah, in 2021, I really elevated my name and respect throughout the industry, networked with a lot of people. It's funny, for probably about 2 years, I used to only go to card shows because I could get drunk and high and have fun with friends. 2022, I made the decision to finally get sober, stopped doing drugs and stopped drinking, and decided to go full-time into cards. In May of 2022, I married, and about a little less than a year later, we ended up getting divorced. I was living in a hotel in Louisville, didn't really have anywhere to, I wasn't homeless, but I didn't really have anywhere to live. And my boss, Rob, who is the owner of this establishment, he was a friend of mine from before. He called me 2 days after I split up from my wife, and he was like, how's it going? And I was like, not so great, man. I don't really have anywhere to live. And he was like, move to Chicago. And on Monday, I took the job, and on Thursday, I packed up my car and left Louisville. And I live here. Been here at Bridgeport Hobby. Actually, today, March 17th, is 2 years that I've been working at Bridgeport Hobby. And now I have part ownership in the company. It's nice to be able to feel like a failure growing up and then become a success off of little 3.5 by 4.5 photos of baseball players. So sports cards, if it's something that interests you in the slightest, requires no degree. I'm a 3-time college dropout, and I do pretty well for myself. I tell like little kids and like high schoolers that come into the shop all the time, and it's true even no matter what age you are. Cards changed my life, sometimes for the best, sometimes for the worst, but overall they've changed my life. I remember I was in 8th grade. I would bring my cards to school and just like look at them when I was in class, and people used to make fun of me, and now I make more money than every single one of those people. St. Patrick's Day. Here are the top 5 best pickups from this past week. We got a Derrick Rose RPA on-card auto, another Chicago cool one, White Sox bat.